Hello and welcome. I'm making up the numbers. So two races in which I didn't come last. The first race I'll show you, actually I was drawn against lots and lots of people in E, so drivers that are actually more of my level hopefully, and we'll see how it works out. But that was the first thing that I noticed about this one. I wasn't actually going to record this, I was just going to practice. But actually it went quite well. I just didn't record the qualifying, so I can't show you that, but I'll show you the race. Well, I won't show you all, just bits and bobs of it. So here we are, I start in 8th. I think I'm the only person in this car. Yes, I am. Lots of Mercedes AMGs about. They're probably the best car to actually have one, but I painted it yellow and green like in the picture. But here we go, so we're starting, rather than start again. So what we've got ahead of us, or I don't even know, is that a Cuban flag? No, I don't think so. Check. Oh, geography is not my thing really. So here we go to start the race, and just doing a bit of weaving. It's not me in control anymore, so we'll see how we end up. I do lose a position and gain some, and then lose some again, so it's actually some racing. One thing you'll notice that's different from last time is that I've changed to manual gears, which did take some getting used to, and you'll see it's just revving up and I'm not really doing very much for it. As we're into the first corner, this is Sardinia again, and just backing off because I knew that this was going to happen. There's people having a crash, and within the first corner again I make it up to 7th, and then give him the space actually, and then just get round from behind, mainly because I was giving that guy space. I don't want to hit him. What I tried to do is have a clean race if I can, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'm just not very good and have an accident. In fact, I'm pretty sure I get a penalty in this race as well. So I hit this guy by accident, it must be said. If there was a way to say sorry I would have, and get a 2-second penalty for that. That's just how it is. Can't really do much about it. I'm just not good enough. Maybe I should have braked, got off, and then had a first corner out to keep my clean races up, but never mind. So I did know this track relatively well from last time. Still not the fastest around, as you can see, but certainly a big improvement, and actually mixing in the numbers. So I noticed this guy coming wide, and just try and cover him the best as I can. There's a guy who goes invisible up ahead. Don't know what happened, he probably spun out, and they'll go through me. I think I was probably just going too slowly. Was that the penalty line? Yeah, it probably was. This dude just spinning all over the place, so I actually slowed down a bit because I thought he was going to hit me, but then went invisible and I get rammed from behind. But you know, it doesn't matter, it didn't make a difference to the race, and that's just the reality. So here we go, first lap completed, started in 8th and now up to 7th, so made a position in the first lap, which I was really happy about. And now skipping on to the final lap, and dropped a few positions down to 10th. I think I spun out onto the grass as I go invisible again because of the yellow flag, I think. Oh, it's that guy, the guy in 9th, so make up the 9th position again. And now I'm just bearing down on the chap in 8th, who is probably just as quick as me, I think, but probably a little bit more experienced, and just getting around the corners a bit quicker. But that's it, and that's the end of the race, and didn't get to finish, but not last, in 9th, happy about that. Better than the last time it was, and there's me again, looking a little slightly more prouder than I was in the previous race where I came dead last. So the next race was one of the daily races I did, and I'll show you the qualifying as well as the highlights from the race. So this is just my fastest lap. I didn't want to do the whole thing because it's just me driving around. And here I go into the first corner. This is the Red Bull Ring, which I really like. It's a great track, I think. Just going really, really fast. And I'm sure that you can go faster around the corners, or in fact you can, because people do. And perhaps the BMW wasn't the best car to choose, but I rather liked it. I think it was one of the gifted cars. And this corner, very slow around. So I left the Ghost on. I'm not entirely sure whether I like it or not, but it does give you something to race and an idea if you know you went through the corner well in the last lap, just to follow it around and try and do it just a little bit better. That gantry up above the racetrack is a really good line for me to know when to brake for this corner, and you can really come out of it fast and get along this straight, which is better than I was certainly doing last time, actually thinking about racing lines and how you can get around the corner. This one I kind of take wide because I want to cut this one as much as I can. I think you can take it probably in 3rd gear and faster than I was, as I did the previous go, forgetting to change gear again. That does happen every now and again, but I am slowly getting used to it. And changing down is a bit funny. I don't quite have a handle on when to change down in particular corners, and the flashing gear recommendation isn't helpful. I don't know if that can be turned off. And that's it, my fastest lap, 1 minute 35. So qualifying in dead last, but if you look at the field, all Bs again. So drawn against lots of people that are better. One guy who's E in 13th, a lot more experienced drivers than me, but the improvement is I'm not quite so far off the pace. Actually, only 3 seconds, and not doing terribly. And we'll see how this one transpires. So this was quite a fun go around. Actually, I really enjoyed it. If not for the fact I was in last, but I learned a load of this, including just not to spin out if you can help it, even if you just sacrifice a bit of time around the corner. It did help me a lot. So a varied field, lots of different cars. This Hurricane in pole position, and this is the start of the race, just a rolling start again. Another good thing, I've got really good internet signal. That's helpful, and also I didn't involuntarily adjust the brake balance, which probably helped me. I guess it depends on the track as to whether we want to do that or not, and we haven't even got on to fuel strategies and tyres yet. That will come. So as we start the race, I'm not going to show it all because a lot of it is just me driving around behind people. But first corner, and well, second onto the straight, haven't even officially started the race yet. Following up these guys and just trying again to stay as close as I can behind them in order to keep up, really. And so far so good, round this corner quite well, and the gap between me and 14th is now 1 second, just over a second, and the gap between me and first is now only 7 seconds, which is a lot better, and altogether an improvement, so I'm very pleased about that. Coming into this corner, and I do it quite well and make up a load of time on these guys. I think they were just having a bit of a fight between themselves, causing some time. Greece and Germany, do they like each other? I don't know. There's a couple of people that are invisible here. They must have spun out and make up a position to 14th and keeping up largely with the pack. I took this a bit wider than I would like to have. The guy in the Mercedes tries to sneak in but thinks better of it. Probably didn't want to hit me either, which is nice to see, not getting hit up the rear. And I took this one wide because I anticipated that these guys were going to have a fight, but I give them the position because I want a decent entry into this corner, not to make up positions, just to try and keep up for now until I get used to how the dynamics of the race play out. Now unfortunately back into last, but made up some positions, dropped some, and keeping up largely. These corners were great fun. I liked watching people crash, actually. I try my best not to, but it happens every now and again. When you're as unskilled as I am, then you get used to crashing, so I just try and take the corners a bit slower than I would like to in order to get round and hopefully learn. But I think I nailed this corner pretty well, as that guy in the Mercedes goes really wide. I don't know if he'll get a penalty for going off the track there. No, nothing at all yet. But still keeping up, less than a second behind the guy in 15th, and only 10 seconds behind the guy in first. So largely keeping up with everybody going along. Considering they're all B raters and a lot more experience than me, I was happy. There's one other E. I can't remember who it was. Hopefully it was the guy in 14th, so we're pretty much the same. Although maybe he's just naturally talented, who knows. And then this corner, come around it as I would normally, and I notice that I'm still up with the pack and largely doing, I think, a half decent job as I come around slowly around this corner, and notice again that I haven't lost much time on that at all, although nearly a second behind the guy in 14th, slowly closing the gap, I hope, over this last sector of the race, and keeping up as we go along this small straight into the fast double corners. I get these wrong a couple of times. Here we go, so just massively wide, trying my best, just pushing it too hard to keep up with these guys and losing a second, 2 seconds perhaps, going into the straight, which was a bit of a disaster. And I was a bit worried at this point that that was race over. I wouldn't be able to do any more, just go around the track, get the points, get the experience, and hopefully do better the next time, consigning myself to another last place and not doing very well at all. But the gods of Gran Turismo helped me a little bit, and as you'll see in a short while, I make up a couple of spots. Very slow into this corner, completely ruined my braking spot. Didn't really, just messed it up. Can't really have any other excuses, just a bit of inexperience, just need to get a bit quicker going around. And a yellow flag, what's happened down here? So 2 people are invisible. The guy, Brit, actually in 14th, as we come around the corner, he just disappears. He's had enough, just quits. So now into 14th and can't come last just by default, and I will happily take default. It seems to be what I have to do in this race, is just not come last because other people have had enough. Go ahead with the penalty, so at this point thinking perhaps I can catch up with him. I just fast forwarded these laps because I was just following them around. But as we come around, you'll notice actually that I'm not doing massively well, a few seconds behind, but as we come into the last lap, another guy has just decided he's had enough, so up into 13th. And at this point, 5 seconds behind the guy in 12th, 28 seconds behind the guy in 1st. So considering last time I did a race and put it on YouTube, it was 44 seconds behind the person who came first, and quite a significant chunk behind the second to last person. I got a penalty for going too fast around the corner trying to push it, and at this point I really didn't need to. I didn't think I'd be able to catch up with the person in 12th. I was happy just to finish the race, but competitive instinct took hold, and I just tried to push it a bit too hard. And as I come down to serve the penalty and come down into this slow corner again, so annoyed about the penalty. So what I'm trying to do is keep a clean race, so that's even if that means sacrificing the position so I don't crash into people. On the one part to get my sportsmanship rating, and on the other part just to be a bit respectful and to get better at the skills required. Going into corners too fast, you just ram people from behind. It's just not right, it's just not very polite now, is it? But, you know, some people seem to do it and get away with it, but then again, you know, now 8 seconds behind the person in 12th, they can afford a 7-second penalty and still finish above me. So at this point, just the aim was just to finish the race, actually cross the lines and go really wide in the corner again, just to try and beat the line before that time limit runs out, and another half-second penalty just for being a bit of a spanner. But hey ho, I'm going to make it over the line, and that's it. Loads of lessons, really well, really happy with the performance, and yeah, so that's how we go. And then finishing 13th, making up 2 places. I'll see you next time. Cheerio.